Luxury goods are facing a crisis like never before. As economies shift and prices soar, even the ultra-wealthy are starting to ask, is this really worth it? Once symbols of status and quality, luxury brands now find themselves battling scandals, criticism, and changing consumer habits. From overpriced handbags to declining quality, people are starting to rethink what luxury truly means. Add in the rise of knockoffs and a growing focus on experiences over possessions, and the industry's golden age might be losing its shine. But is this just a rough patch, or the beginning of the end for luxury as we know it? For years, China was the golden goose of the luxury industry. But now, the party seems to be over. Economic stagnation has hit hard, and brands that relied heavily on Chinese consumers are now scrambling to find alternatives. For more than a decade, China's growing middle class and wealthier elite drove record-breaking sales. But today's reality paints a different picture. One commenter quipped, "They thought China would grow forever. Guess they forgot what happens when the music stops." Beyond economic factors, shifting cultural priorities in China, including a focus on local goods, have added to the downer. This overdependence on one market has exposed a vulnerability that brands can no longer ignore. What happens when a single nation's economic slowdown brings an entire industry to its knees? As luxury players grapple with these questions, the future of global luxury remains uncertain. Can they adapt to changing tides? Or will this be a wake-up call for a broader diversification strategy? $5,000 for a handbag that costs $57 to make. That's not luxury. That's a joke. Over the past 5 years, prices for luxury items have skyrocketed by 75 to 100%, leaving even loyal customers questioning their choices. One commenter nailed it. "Why would I spend $3,000 on a Dior bag made in a sweatshop when I can get better quality at a fraction of the price?" This isn't inflation, it's greed. The value proposition of luxury brands has eroded to the point where even the ultra-wealthy are hesitating. Social media is flooded with critiques, calling out brands for their audacity to charge exorbitant prices without delivering matching quality. Meanwhile, younger generations are asking tough questions about sustainability and ethics, further challenging these inflated price tags. People aren't just frustrated, they're walking away. At what point will brands realize that prestige isn't built on price tags, but on delivering true value? If they don't, the question isn't whether they'll lose customers, it's how soon. Remember when luxury meant impeccable quality? Those days might be over. From Dior's sweatshop scandal to Louis Vuitton's questionable craftsmanship, the industry's reputation is crumbling. Reports of handbags being made for mere pennies on the dollar have left consumers outraged. As one exasperated commenter put it, "If I'm paying top dollar, I expect top quality." Instead, what they're getting are overpriced products made with subpar materials and little attention to detail. This has led many consumers to turn to vintage markets, where they believe the real luxury still exists. Ironically, older products from these same brands are now seen as more desirable than current collections. Add to this the growing appeal of artisanal alternatives and small-scale designers, and the cracks in the luxury facade become impossible to ignore. Why does the past seem more luxurious than the present? Perhaps it's because today's brands have traded integrity for profit, and customers are no longer willing to pay the price for that compromise. Who needs another overpriced bag when you can splurge on a Taylor Swift concert or a luxury vacation? Millennials and Gen Z are leading the charge in shifting priorities from goods to experiences, and it's a trend luxury brands can no longer ignore. One commenter joked, "Travel is the new luxury," capturing the sentiment of a generation that values memories over materialism. The rise of experiences like high-end dining, boutique hotels, and live entertainment signals a cultural shift that luxury goods companies are struggling to keep up with. While some brands have attempted to pivot by entering the hospitality sector, critics are skeptical about how well these ventures align with their core identities. Another commenter sarcastically remarked, "Great, now I can overpay for a croissant and a handbag." The question is, can the industry evolve fast enough to cater to this new wave of experience seekers? Or will they be left behind as consumers redefine what it means to live luxuriously? Luxury brands are trying everything to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world, but not every strategy is hitting the mark. From Louis Vuitton's flagship hotel in Paris to Tiffany's in-store restaurants, these experiments are bold but far from universally successful. One skeptical commenter noted, "Hotels and bakeries won't fix a broken brand." While ventures like these may attract foot traffic, they don't necessarily translate into the high-value sales that sustain these companies. Instead, they risk alienating their core customer base by diluting the brand's exclusivity. At the same time, efforts to tap into the younger market through collaborations and streetwear-inspired designs have been met with mixed reviews. Critics argue that these moves come across as desperate rather than innovative. Are these strategies a sign of adaptability, or do they reveal an industry grasping at straws? The answer may determine whether luxury brands sink or swim in the years ahead. That high-quality knockoffs are no longer just cheap imitations. They're becoming a real threat to the luxury industry, with some fakes now rivaling or even surpassing the originals in craftsmanship. Consumers are asking tough questions. Why pay thousands when the knockoff is just as good? One commenter mused. Social media platforms and YouTube are flooded with videos dissecting the quality of both real and fake goods, often with shocking results. For many, the allure of a counterfeit lies not just in the price, but in the fact that it exposes the inflated margins of luxury brands. This trend is forcing the industry to confront a harsh reality. Their secrets are out, and consumers are no longer willing to pay a 2,000% markup for a logo. If knockoffs continue to improve, will luxury brands find a way to reclaim their value, or will they be forced to lower their prices to compete? The glamour once associated with luxury brands is rapidly fading, giving way to a harsh social critique. In an age where sustainability and authenticity reign supreme, the flashy, logo-driven culture of traditional luxury is being called out as outdated and wasteful. As one commenter pointed out, luxury isn't about logos anymore. It's about values. Scandals involving exploitative labor practices and environmental harm have tarnished reputations, while younger generations are turning their backs on conspicuous consumption. Instead, they're embracing minimalist lifestyles and placing more importance on ethical standards. At the same time, the very concept of luxury is being questioned. Is it about exclusivity and extravagance, or should it reflect quality and sustainability? As society reevaluates its priorities, luxury brands face the daunting challenge of aligning with these new values without losing their essence. Will they rise to the occasion, or will they become relics of a bygone era? Social media has become both a blessing and a curse for luxury brands. On one hand, platforms like Instagram and TikTok have amplified their visibility, turning their products into viral sensations. On the other hand, these same platforms have made it easier than ever for consumers to call out brands for ethical lapses, inflated prices, and declining quality. One viral post about a $57 Dior bag sold for thousands can do more damage than a traditional scandal. Influencers, once allies of luxury, are now increasingly critical, with some promoting sustainable alternatives or advocating for vintage finds instead. Additionally, social media has exposed the stark contrast between the image luxury brands project and the reality of their production processes. As one commenter remarked, it's hard to feel luxurious knowing your bag was made in a sweatshop. Can the industry adapt to this new era of transparency, or will it be undone by the very platforms that once elevated it? The luxury industry is at a crossroads, facing the need to redefine itself for a new generation of consumers. Traditional markers of luxury, like exclusivity and high prices, are no longer enough. Today's buyers value experiences, sustainability, and authenticity over flashy logos and overpriced goods. Brands like Hermes, which have maintained a focus on craftsmanship and limited production, are thriving, while others struggle to find their footing. Meanwhile, smaller, independent designers are gaining traction by offering high-quality, ethically made products that resonate with modern values. One commenter summed it up perfectly: luxury should feel special, not mass-produced. The challenge for established brands is clear: adapt to these shifting expectations or risk becoming irrelevant. As consumers continue to demand more meaningful connections with the products they buy, the industry must ask itself, what does true luxury look like in the 21st century? As the luxury industry navigates one of its toughest periods, there are important lessons to be learned. First, the era of unchecked price hikes must come to an end. Consumers are no longer willing to pay exorbitant premiums for items that fail to deliver on quality or ethics. Second, transparency is key. With the rise of social media and investigative reporting, brands can no longer hide behind glamorous advertising campaigns. Customers want to know where their products come from, how they're made, and whether they align with modern values. Finally, luxury needs to reconnect with its roots: craftsmanship, exclusivity, and genuine innovation. As one commenter aptly stated, if it doesn't make me feel something, it's not luxury. The industry must strike a balance between tradition and modernity to stay relevant. Will these lessons lead to a renaissance for luxury, or are we witnessing the beginning of its decline? The future of luxury is hanging in the balance. From the rise of knockoffs to the demand for sustainability, the challenges are immense but not insurmountable. To survive, luxury brands must evolve, embracing transparency, authenticity, and true craftsmanship. The days of relying solely on logos and inflated prices are over. Today's consumers are smarter, more discerning, and more demanding than ever before. They want products that tell a story, reflect their values, and stand the test of time. As the industry stands at this crossroads, one thing is clear: luxury must redefine itself to remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. The question is, will it rise to the occasion or fade into irrelevance? Only time will tell.